Hi there, and good evening, everyone. I'm Cindy Brockway, and I'm the founder of Essentials for Peace and Balance. And it's our group in Facebook where we talk about the essentials of what it takes to build and maintain a really courageous and tenacious approach to self-care. And it's not just self-care, just taking care of yourself. It's about taking care of your relationships, the people around you, the things that you have to do on a day-to-day basis. That's kind of what the group is about. It's about daily living and healthy, natural, positive, and supportive ways to go through life, to face our everyday challenges. So, our very first session tonight in our Well Within and Without educational series is dealing with focus and motivation. And so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to have a slideshow that will talk about, let's see, make sure I get it pulled up here. There it is. That will help us to talk about essential oils and how they help with focus, motivation. And I think that's two of the biggest things that we struggle with as humans is staying focused, staying motivated, especially when we have a long to-do list or we have deadlines or we have self-imposed deadlines that we feel like we should be able to deal with this. We should be able to get this stuff done. Why aren't we getting it done? Why is it taking me so long? Why am I not even the least bit interested in it? So there's a lot of things that can impact us in our focus and our motivation. And a lot of it has to do with emotions. How we feel about something really determines how motivated we are, how focused we're going to be about it. So let's talk a little bit about emotions and aromatherapy. Emotions definitely influence our quality of life. There's no getting around it. It's a really key aspect of our everyday life, our emotions. And aromas have the potential to change our emotions, to change our moods, to help us to manage our emotions. And that's something that you guys have mentioned in the group that you felt would be helpful, is to learn more about how essential oils can help you manage your emotions. So that's why I chose this as our first topic. So let's talk a little bit about how aromas interact with the brain and cause a response. Now, when we have an aroma, a scent, something in the air that permeates our senses, our sense of smell specifically, we know that there's a response. And we've talked about that in our group today in particular, that to think back about scents or smells from your past that have really stuck with you, that have really made an impact on you. And lots of you mentioned baking, coffee, cookies, the smell of snow, lots of memories and emotions that are evoked when you smell something. It triggers a memory. So what happens is the aroma is inhaled and it's picked up by the olfactory receptors in your nose. And then this aroma is processed through the olfactory system, which controls our sense of smell. And in the process, those nerve cells, those neurons, send nerve signals to our brain to identify the smell. And then those nerve signals transmit information from the olfactory system to the limbic system, where the memories and emotions are stored. So that system is what produces our response, that limbic system. And it's what produces that response, whether it be a good positive memory or not so positive memory. It's the sense of smell that gets attached to those receptors, and then it's magic. So how can essential oils promote feelings of focus? Let's talk about that now. There are certain constituents in oils, different chemicals in oils, that naturally promote focus. And the oils are highly concentrated, volatile aromatic oils. They're the oil that actually comes off of the plant, comes out of its like oil sacs, and it's processed, and it's highly potent, highly powerful. So let's take, for instance, basil and lavender. Those are plants, and on their leaves they have these oil sacs, and that's where the oil comes out. And it's that natural oil that we smell when we inhale essential oils. Here are some recipes that, or protocols they call them, for focus. So you can see by each one of the oils, there are droplets to tell you how many drops of each oil to use for that specific protocol. So they offer a combination of basil and lavender, bergamot, and lemon. And then you'll see the peppermint balance and coriander, and the spearmint, peppermint, and basil. I have used basil and lavender before, and I like it. I've used peppermint and rosemary before. And to me, that is a very stimulating and focusing blend. And of course, I use lemon a lot. You know, you get that automatically if you drink any hot water with lemon in it, or you put lemon in your water, you automatically get that burst of that's invigorating just from the scent from the lemon. All right, let's go on to the next part. And this is the section where we're going to talk about essential oils and motivation. Last time we talked about focus and just kind of being more alert, focused, attentive. And now let's talk about motivation. Oils that can help with your motivation, whether it be your intrinsic or your extrinsic motivation. And if you're familiar with those two terms, you know that intrinsic is internal, things that motivate you internally to do something, or to accomplish a task, or to approach a specific hobby, or excuse me, or volunteering, or whatever it is. You get the positive feelings intrinsically. And then extrinsic are things that you do on the external, on the outside, things you do to get noticed, to make a difference in the world, to get people to pay attention to you, to get your children to learn and grow and have fun, and your grandchildren. So we've got the intrinsic and the extrinsic motivation, and we're going to talk about how these essential oils can help with motivation. These are some of the motivational blends, and you'll see, like in the previous slide where it shows you how many drops of each one to use. One of the blends that I use that's not on this list is a blend of Siberian fir, frankincense, and lavender. That is very motivating to me. I put that in the diffuser, And just the act of dropping the drops in the diffuser is motivating to me. And it signals to my brain, you know what? Let's get down to business. So here's some protocol for you to consider. And now let's talk about, to finish off our class, we're going to talk about how to use those oils for your focus and your motivation. We've talked about the science behind them. We talked about how it's a natural mechanism in our bodies, the olfactory system, and it feeds our brain. Let's talk about now how to use those oils. So some uplifting oils are listed here. They're uplifting and they're energizing. And a really interesting fact about essential oils, pure essential oils that are not blended with anything, that are not, don't have any chemicals outside of the natural plant-based chemicals. Really pure essential oils are so tiny, the constituents are so tiny and volatile that they instantly permeate your nose and attach to your olfactory receptors. And believe it or not, within 20 minutes of you smelling that, inhaling those oils, those constituents, those teeny tiny parts of those oils can get through your entire body, every cell of your body within 20 minutes. That speaks to the amazing power and purity of these essential oils. So I hope you've gotten a chance to look at the list. Some of my favorites are on this list, like grapefruit, wild orange, peppermint, and lime. Just utilizing those alone, those individual oils, are really amazing. Lime, I just can't express it. Too bad we don't have smell-o-vision. Lime in a diffuser is really uplifting and energizing. But there's others here too. We all are individuals. We have different sense of smell. And some of you may be turned off by citrus and fruity smells. And some of you maybe can't handle flowery smells, things that are made from flowers. So you might want to go to something more like a fir, Douglas fir or Siberian fir. So there's different things that you can try. And this is just a list of some of the oils that are uplifting and energizing. Okay, now this is a list of the calming oils. And some of my favorites on here are jasmine, lavender, vetiver, and petitgrain. All right, now let's talk about the application ideas quickly. You can diffuse them. I use a diffuser in my car, in my office, at home. So I use a diffuser often. They talk here in this slide about using basil to help you with mental clarity. And I have used basil and lavender together, and it really is a delightful blend. The blend Motivate that doTERRA has, and it's in a roller bottle, and that Motivate has a combination of oils. It's got some peppermint in it, it's got some vanilla bean in it, and it's just got oils in there that are able to really help promote feelings of confidence and courage and belief. I really use it a lot at work too, when I'm kind of feeling a bit overwhelmed, or I might have some negative emotions going on with some of the drama at work, and I'll get out my Motivate and put it on. And I'll tell you, when people come through the office, they'll just drop themselves down in the chair when I've applied that Motivate, and they'll just inhale, and they like to come into my office to get re-energized. So that speaks to the oils right there, just the sense of smelling them after I've applied them on myself. Another good one is diffusing frankincense or peppermint. or putting some wild orange in your hands and sniffing it. It's just a real quick pick-me-up. And I like to use that when I'm at the craft show and it's been a long day and we've been interacting with people, and I just put a drop or two on my hands and smell it. It just really picks me up, and it also kind of gets people out and about smelling it, because they'll walk by our booth and they'll go, what smells so good? And it's usually that wild orange. And then there's another one here that they mention at the bottom. It's Intune. It's also a blend of oils that is really good to help with paying attention and staying on task. And it's a blend that is often used with children with symptoms of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or children that are on the autism spectrum, because of its ability to help them focus. It's not one of my favorite scents, but I have used it. And I, in fact, used it today. All right. And here's the slide that gives you a few more ideas on oils with children, like coriander, peppermint, spearmint, and the citrus oils. Now, when it comes to oils that help you for motivation, for meditation, oils that are calming, that bring a level of peace, and they mention lavender, balance, clary sage, spikenard, and vetiver. And I'll tell you just quickly how I use the lavender. I like it best in a diffuser, especially at night. I use it in just about all of my blends that I use when I diffuse. I always have a little bit of lavender, and I like to add frankincense, and Siberian fir is my favorite right now. And then at night, I like to use vetiver and lavender in my diffuser. Also, balance. Using balance, a blend, I like to use that to just help me, be at peace and get some harmony before I go to bed. So I often apply that at night. And I'll put it in my hands with a little bit of coconut oil and rub it on the bottom of my feet. It's also something that's really helps when you put it on topically when you're getting ready to do some exercises or some stretches. It just really helps to expand that experience of relaxation. All right. Another thing that I'd like to encourage you to do to promote focus and motivation is to combine essential oils with your everyday activities. Not just having them set on a shelf, and when you can't think of anything else to perk you up, and all of a sudden you think, oh yeah, I've got some essential oils in there, let me get out my wild orange or whatever it is. I would encourage you to have your bottles of oils around the house, in your purse, in your car, so that it can be your first go-to when you're wanting to focus or be motivated or calm yourself down or relax, so that you're not tempted to repeatedly drink those caffeinated beverages, coffees and things like that on a regular basis, that you can use something more natural and that helps you to be at peace with your body. And it's not going to have any of those nasty side effects. So when you're exercising, when you're eating, and when it's time to rest, think about essential oils as your first go-to. Thanks for listening to our very first class, and I look forward to your feedback, to your questions, so that we can learn more together about focus, motivation, and essential oils. And if you want to know how to get in touch with me, my email is cindy@pinebranchdesigns.com. And you can also find me on Facebook. My profile is Cindy Ken Cooley Brockway. It's a long name because Ken and I kind of share the same account. But you can find me on there. And of course, in our group, Essentials for Peace and Balance. And all you have to do when you're in Facebook is type in Essentials for Peace and Balance, and it'll pull up our group. And you're welcome to come on in there and post your questions in there and post your experiences with using essential oils for focus and motivation. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can say goodbye to everyone. And thank you for being on here. I'm going to stop the recording, and then I'll be able to share this link with you so that you can listen to it at your leisure. You can share it with others, and you can listen to it over and over again to get some ideas and inspiration and some reminders about using essential oils for focus, motivation, calming, and relaxation. So let's stop it.